Hi, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Sunday Night Mixed Media Backgrounds. I've got a white sheet of cardstock and a plan, kind of. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I have decided that I'm going to do a stamped background and then some mixed media on top of it, and I'm even thinking about throwing in a stencil on top of this. So what I am doing right now is I have these kind of nautical stamps, and they are red rubber stamps, and I'm pretty sure that they are a Tim Holtz stamp set. I don't have any labeling or packaging, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. I am going to fill this bottom portion with the anchor in this dark color, and I am using archival ink. And the reason why I'm using archival ink is because when I place the mixed media over top of it, I do not want this ink to run, and archival ink will not run. So I am using this dark color here. I believe it is cobalt. And then I am just going to kind of fill this in, overlap the anchors. Obviously some of them are off the page. Some of them are fully on the page. After I do that, I'm going to grab another color of archival ink. I was toying with the idea of just filling the entire page with the anchors because I really do like the anchors. However, I decided not to do that. Next, I'm using cornflower blue, and it's this captain's wheel, and I'm going to do the same thing. Going to do a couple of captain's wheel layers over top of my anchors, and again they are overlapping each other, and it is the archival ink, so nothing will smear away. Don't want any of that stuff to happen, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do that. I am only going to use 3 of the 4 stamps. One of the stamps is a crab, and as this Maryland girl loves her some crabs, but I really didn't want to have that here on this cruise layout, right? Not a whole heck of a lot of crabs going on the cruise layout. Now, my stamping is not even, my stamping is not straight, my stamping is not perfect. My stamping is just layered kind of nautical images in 3 different color blues. So again, I'm going to grab another color blue, and in this instance, I think this one is Forget Me Not. I think that's the one I'm using. So this is a rope, and it has a knot tied into it. And I'm going to do that up at the top of the ship's wheel. So again, I am just getting a little bit of ink on here and making it happen. Now, I got these archival inks and the cases a hot minute ago. It was a Hobby Lobby clearance, and I got them on a stupid clearance. And I was like, I really don't need more inks, but all of my inks, besides these, are pretty water reactive. So I thought it would be really good to have some inks that did not react with water, right? Like, you need those inks. You need inks that are going to react with water, and you can do techniques with them, and you need inks that are just going to stay as inks. So I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide right here. I'm going to color this entire portion of the layout so that it is going to be solid. And I'm just going to make sure to color in this bit up at the top. And then I'm going to do a light inking all the way down the page so that there is some of the white cardstock showing through, but it's not going to be in your face stark white cardstock, right? Like, there's going to be a light layer of blue over it all. And I am just using my Close to My Heart inks for this because, actually I think I do add one more Distress Oxide, but I do use the Close to My Heart ink blending brush that I have just to kind of color that in. Because while I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, that's a big hunk of blue up there with a lot of stamped images, and it's feeling weird. So again, yep, this is where I bring in the other Distress Oxide, and then I will bring in that blending brush. Now, I did ultimately decide that this needed stenciling on top of it, and I went with the Waves stencil again. I find that I have a couple of stencils that I really think are going to lend themselves well to my cruise layouts. One is the Ocean Wave stencil, of course. I've got the All-Star stencil, and then, you know, my Disney-esque stencils as well, since this is a Disney cruise. I think these are like good ones, right? So I went ahead and spritzed it with these Tim Holtz sparkly spritzels, and the one I used was peacock feathers. I had to turn around and grab it so I could see. And what I did was full like presses of spraying on the pump, and that gave me like the smaller spritz. And then I would slowly press on the pump, and that would give me the larger spritzes. So I actually had to go get the stencil out of my utility sink because it was leaning up in there drying. And then I decided to grab some glitter glaze from Brutus Monroe. Now I end up using 2 glitter glazes. The first one I grab is Splash, and that is definitely reminiscent of some watery goodness. And I use this with a silicone brush, and I place it all over the stencil, right? The entire 12 by 12 layout has this color glitter glaze on it. Now, I was kind of afraid that on the bottom portion of the layout, where I've got that darker ink, that the waves were kind of be lost. I knew that up top, over top of the solid inking, and also even the lighter stamping, I knew that you were going to be able to see the waves just fine. But like I said, I was worried on this darker bit. So I grabbed another glitter glaze, and this time I used navy, and I kind of went ahead and darkened up the bottom, right? And then kind of feathered it up into the lighter color so it didn't look like there was 2 stark lines of light glitter glaze, dark glitter glaze. And then after I do that and we pull back the stencil, that is going to do it for this background, you guys. And I will be definitely using this this upcoming week in the cruise album. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.